Good evening, and welcome to Rights and Democracy's Get Out the Vote rally. It is my distinct pleasure to be able to introduce to you tonight Justice of the Peace and candidate for Barrytown House Representative, Dottie Ricks. Before I bring her on stage, though, I'm going to tell you a couple of things about her that she would be too modest to share with you herself. Things that separate her from being merely a suitable candidate to being a superb candidate. To truly, authentically represent the people, which is the charge of a public servant, they must be empathetic enough to understand and take to heart the issues of the people they are representing. They must be audacious enough to challenge those institutions which may be posing threat to the people within their district. And they must be tenacious enough to never give up, despite mounting pressures to compromise that well-being. I have never met an individual who is more tenacious, audacious, and empathetic than Dottie Ricks. When I first met Dottie, she was a private citizen who had felt compelled to run for public office because she looked around and saw that the people within her district were largely being silenced by the way politics had been run. It was empathy that drove her to knock on hundreds of doors from both sides of the aisle to ask them individually what it was that concerned them most in their government and what should be done to best affect that change. She didn't ask what the government thought was best for them. She asked what they thought was best for their government. It was audacity that inspired her to run against two male Republican incumbents in a district that was largely Republican and had not elected a female representative in over 30 years. Dottie, true to form, was not threatened by this. She fought, and she led the charge. Stand up, speak out, fight back. Her tenacity and progressive policy won her an endorsement from Senator Bernie Sanders in his own presidential campaign. Though she may have lost the battle, she won the war with Act 46, which was a policy which is still trying to be effected to take the power away from schools to effect change within their own school districts. She works tirelessly to help them in this fight against Act 46, and she even uses her own funds to try and educate the people about what the policy actually entails. A poem was once written by an unknown author called Eviction of a Donegal Priest, which captures Dottie's spirit, always fighting for the marginalized. And I wanted to share that poem with you, though I will admit I have replaced all of the he's into she's. Still that latent strength of soul she wields at her command. No fear could paralyze her heart, no flattery stay her hand. When voice or pen is needed to presence rights protect, the people's helper, always proud, stands fearless and erect. As a private citizen, she continues to march and protest and volunteer for causes which seek to bring justice to those in need. As a former school board member and current Justice of the Peace, she doesn't hesitate to raise her voices in defense of those who need protection against the policies at hand which may be harmful to them. Her experience lends her to be quick thinking and very effective. And as a friend, she's unflinchingly generous, considerate, and a fierce advocate. Certainly, she is the person I would call if I ever needed someone in my corner. She's empathetic, tenacious, and audacious to the core. And that is why Rights and Democracy and I are most honored to introduce to you tonight the champion for the people, candidate for Barrytown House Representative, Dottie Ricks.